If we care for something, we tend not to hurt it. And we need to develop a real care within our hearts for the created world and for nature and for the world around us. Actually, caring for the environment has been part of Catholic social teaching for the past 100 years. And recently, Pope Francis put out an encyclical on care for our common home. And it's critical for us to care for the environment because we need the environment. We need the earth on which to live on. That's the basis of our faith. Well, spring is a great time. Everything is being reborn. Everything is being greened. The plants are opening and blossoming. It's been a dark and cold winter, and sometimes our lives can be dark and cold, and sometimes we need a little bit of spring, and sometimes we need a little bit of hope. Jesus brings us that hope. He rose from the dead. It was a bright and glorious morning, and sort of feeds our souls and lifts our spirits. And looking at our faith and at the springtime that's going on, I think it's a great way to brighten our lives. And as we see the things that are growing and that are coming to be, our own faith is also always growing and coming to be. So that springing to new life is perfect for the Easter season, and it's perfect for our hearts, and it's perfect for our souls. We lose a lot in our busy lives, and one thing that is a good practice to do is even to try to shut off the electronics for a day. Try to put aside that phone. We're so connected to that phone. And Pope Francis in his encyclical says that we're really losing something. We're losing a deeper part of ourselves. So the more that we fill our heads with noise, the less we're getting in touch with what's going on in our hearts and in our souls. And Francis even suggests that we look at whatever happened to Sundays, that we recapture Sundays. For myself growing up, Sunday was always a family day, and we always did things together, and maybe we need to recapture some of that, going back to church on a Sunday or on a Saturday, but keeping Sunday for maybe family time and spending time with one another. No electronics, maybe playing a game, maybe taking a walk out in nature, maybe doing something else. But we need to really feed our souls on a deeper level. Well, one thing that they can do if they own a property or if there's community gardens nearby is to grow some of their own food and to try to do that locally. It takes a lot of carbon to transport the food that we have, and a lot of fossil fuel energy. And connecting with our earth, even working the soil with a few plants, even some potted plants or some potted tomatoes on your porch. That's one great way to connect with nature. Another way is to spend more time walking, or maybe taking a bicycle, using less vehicles. Maybe trying to use less plastic or less fossil fuels, and keeping picking up litter, as we said before. One thing that's simple that they can do is to pray for those who are working hard for the environment, and then support them that way, and watch their own waste consumption. Maybe you can compost if you have property. Maybe you cannot. Listen to the youth. Youth are on fire because their future Earth is in jeopardy. And youth are becoming very active in speaking out against harming the environment and for preserving the environment. The Catholic youth are also active. And if you can look online, our Children's Trust is a group of young people in their teenage years, now in their 20s, that are actually in a lawsuit with the government because fossil fuel companies are ruining the environment, and they want to call them to accountability. So we need to reach our youth. So it's a good idea to get the youth outside and enjoying nature, get them connected with the world outside off of some of the electronics all the time, but to listen to them because they're really urging us to move forward. And I really encourage reading the Pope's encyclical on care for our common home. It's not a difficult read, and there's a lot in there as far as our caring for the environment, looking at the water that we consume. You can take a carbon footprint online. You can take a water footprint online, and those will give you some great ideas on how you can use less water, how you can cut down the carbon that you use. And even with water, we don't realize how much water is hidden in products. Like it takes 2,000 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of beef. People are looking at their eating habits, moving to more plant-based options and less meat because it's more friendly for the environment. And also to reuse, recycle, and refuse. We don't need all the things that we have. We don't need a plastic straw. You can do fine without drinking with a plastic straw. And can you fix something instead of just throwing it out into a landfill? The Pope Francis says we're turning our earth into an immense pile of filth. So I think we need to look at ourselves as consumers, and do we really need something, or do we want it just to have it because everyone else has it? So the Pope is calling us to live more simply. So take time to stop our crazy busy lives and to take a little bit more time, realize what we're doing, and to appreciate nature and God's created world much more. One important thing is we are Franciscans, and St. Francis is the patron of the ecology. And he really believed that we are all in relationship. He called parts of nature as brother sun, sister moon, sister earth. And we need to realize that we are all together in this. We're all part of this world. We're not above it. We're not better than it. We have special gifts as humans, but we are a part of this earth. And we're not in this alone. Pope Francis's encyclical went out to all people of all different faiths. And he's saying that we all need to sit down and talk with one another and come up with a plan of how we are to better care for our earth. So as Franciscans, we really look at that pretty seriously. And we're trying to take actions in whatever way that we can. And we're also trying to teach and educate people too. So it's also important for Catholics to speak up, to talk with other people about caring for creation, and even to write your legislators and your political officials. Right now there's a Green New Deal in Congress, and while that may not pass, it's a good stepping stone, and we need to contact our political leaders and encourage them to really work on something in a concrete manner. If not this deal, then something else, something better, and to be serious about that. So it's also, as citizens, it's also our duty to call our political leaders to task and encourage them to take action. Oh, they certainly can. There's a Diocesan Care for Creation Committee, and that's part of our work to help parishes that want to form committees and to support parishes that have them. On May 6th, there will be on May 6th, there will be a meeting right here at 7 p.m. here at Villa Maria for parishes that are interested in forming a Care for Creation Committee. And what we do is we talk a little bit about the Pope's encyclical, and we have parishes come and share what's worked for them and how they started, and share materials, and parishes that are interested can come and learn and get ideas, and parishes that are already doing it can share ideas amongst each other. So there's plenty of resources to use. You can visit the diocesan website on the Care for Creation tab, and there's many resources there also that parishes and individual people can use. So you would just need to contact the Care for Creation Committee. You can contact me, and I can certainly help the parish set up. I think the most important thing is to realize our relationship and to take time forming a relationship. Because if we care for something, we tend not to hurt it. And we need to develop a real care within our hearts for the created world and for nature and for the world around us. And we need to take time to pray. We need to pray in gratitude for all that we have and the beauty that is all around us. We need to pray for ourselves that we can change some of our behavior patterns, because that's the most difficult thing. And that's really what's called for here. That's what Pope Francis is calling for, a real change of heart, a real conversion, a real change of our behavior patterns. And we need to pray for those who are working very hard to preserve the earth and take care of the species and the fauna and things that are there. And we need to pray for those who are taking actions that are destroying our earth, for a change of heart too. And we need to be able to speak. We need to be able to speak and to educate, but we really need to, deep within our hearts, feel that relationship.